viewers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stella Simbi. I hope you're doing good. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made this 8-inch wig, how I ventilated my closure and sewing the back. So before we get into the tutorial, please kindly subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that next time when I post a video, you will be notified. So let's get into it.
I'm going to be using these bundles, and each bundle is 1 meter long. Right here, I'm starting off by ventilating one line on my Swiss lace before sewing it to the wig cap, because I want it to be like it will be a guide when I'm sewing my Swiss lace to the wig cap. It will be easy for me when I'm sewing it. And I'm placing my wig cap on my mannequin head and placing the Swiss lace, and I'll start sewing it to the wig cap. At the front, I'm going to measure with my 2 fingers, or you can just leave 1 inch at the front, right there. After you're done sewing, you can tie your thread, then cut it. Then I'm going to sew the other side and cut off the excess Swiss lace. Turn the wig cap inside out and touch the wig cap underneath the lace that we don't need. We're going to cut it off. Then you can flip it again and start ventilating your closure to look like this, your wig cap, when you're done sewing your Swiss lace. Then you start ventilating your closure. And I'm going to cut off the weft and pick out little hairs. Yeah, right, that you can prepare your hair like this. Then right there, I'm picking 2 strands of hair and skipping a hole. 2 strands of hair and skipping a hole. I'm going to do these 5 lines at the front, 5 lines, or you can just 5 or 6, yeah, about 6 lines at the front, picking 2 strands of hair and skipping a hole. And before you start ventilating the other side, make sure you skip 1 line that you're going to use later on as you're parting. You have to skip 1 line. It will be easy for you to open your parting, so you can skip 1 line where you want your parting to be when you're done with your wig. And continue ventilating 2 strands of hair and skipping a hole at the front. So right there, after you are done ventilating 6 lines at the front, I'm going to ventilate 12 lines going upwards, picking 2 strands of hair and skipping a hole. I'm going to ventilate like I did on the other side. I'm going to ventilate this depending on how you want your parting, how long you want your parting to be. So I'm going to ventilate 2 strands of hair, skipping a hole up until I reach where I want my parting to end. And make sure you skip 1 line before you start ventilating the other side of your closure. So continue picking 2 strands of hair and skipping a hole. I'm going to ventilate another 6 lines closing my parting. I'm going to close it with 6 lines going backwards. Starting from where my parting is ending, going backwards, I'm going to ventilate 6 lines closing it. And it will look like this when you're done. So right now we're moving to the next stage where you're going to ventilate there. I'm going to pick 3 strands of hair and skipping 2 hairs. 3 strands of hair and skipping 2 hairs. I'm doing this process finishing off the part we left when we were doing the first process. I'm going to finish off this side that we left behind. I'm going to finish it picking 3 strands of hair and skipping 2 hairs. Or you can just do like ventilate 1 line each row, ventilating each row 1 line and skipping 1 line, ventilate another line every row and skipping 1 line. So you can do whatever process you see is best. Continue ventilating 3 strands of hair and skipping 2 hairs. Continue ventilating going upwards. Continue ventilating. We can just ventilate 1 line, ventilating each row and skipping 1 line. It's just the same. It depends on how you want to organize your hair, but the outcome is just the same. So when you're done, your closure is going to look like this at the back, and at the front is going to look like this. Then I'm going to start sewing the back. I'm going to start sewing my tracks. I'm starting off from the back, and I'm using thread to sew my tracks. I don't advise you to use wool. You should use thread when you're sewing your tracks. So I'm going to sew these tracks, joining them to the other side of my closure, like that, like I'm doing there. I'm going to sew them, joining them to where my closure is starting, and I also go to the other side and sew, joining with my closure. And after I'm done with that, I'm going to start sewing my tracks from side to side. So I'm just going to sew 2 lines going up to where my closure is starting and going to the other side. Then when I'm done, I'm going to start sewing my tracks from side to side, doing the flip method. I'm not cutting my weft. I'm just going to flip and sew, flip and sew. Like I did there, I'm not cutting, I'm just flipping and sew, going the other direction. So right there, when I'm done with this trick, I'm just going to flip it and sew it going the other direction, like so. I'm just going to flip it and sew going the other direction. When I'm done with this trick, I'm going to flip it again and sew going the other direction up until I reach the top part. When I reach the top, every line that I'm sewing, every thread that I'm sewing, I'm going to join it with my closure. Every thread, I'm going to join it with my closure, like that. Still sewing side to side, flip, side to side, flip, side to side, flip. I'm not going to cut my weft. I'm just going to sew it, flipping, going to the other side, flipping, going to the other side. And make sure you join every thread with your closure, like so. I'm going to join every thread with my closure. Right here, I'm going to cut it because there's no space for me to flip it and sew going the other way, so I'm going to cut it. Then I will start sewing the other threads right there on top, joining every thread with my closure. Every thread, join it with your closure. Just flip and sew going the other direction, flip, and make sure you are joining with your closure. So your last thread also, you're going to join it with your closure, like that. You're going to join it. When you're done sewing, tie your thread about 3 to 4 times, cut the thread, tie it again, then cut the extra weft, the extra hair that is left, and it's going to look like this. And we are going to open our parting on that one line that we left, and I'm going to apply my mousse on the hair to activate the curls and also to make it lay like the flyaways. They will just blend in with the rest of your hair. And I'm going to cut off the extra lace that's on the front. So that's probably all for
today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have learned something in this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to your girl and turn on the notification bell. Next time when I post a video, you'll be notified. So remember, we're all beautiful in our own beautiful kind of way. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. See you in my next video.